Stop yelling. Welcome back, guys. Tonight's story is about a boy who records his father yelling at him and starts hearing things on the playback that his father never said. It's not a ghost story. It's a story about what anger does when it gets inside a child's head. This is based on a true case. The house looked normal from the street. 2-story brick, white trim, small lawn, a basketball hoop above the garage with chipped red paint. Inside, the floors were dark wood. The couch was soft gray, and the TV was always a little too loud. In the hallway, behind a closed bedroom door, a man's voice rose and fell like a storm that never moved on. In the small room across the hall, an 11-year-old boy lay under his bed with his hands over his ears. His name was Jordan Blake. He knew all the patterns. First the heavy steps, then the slammed drawer, then the fridge door opening and closing, then the first shout. His father, Derek, had a strong voice, the kind people liked in church, the kind bosses respected, the kind neighbors called booming. In the house, that voice did something different. It turned the walls into thin paper. Jordan lay still, chest tight, listening to his father yell at his mother about money, about bills, about the light left on in the kitchen, about whatever his mind could grab and twist into a weapon. His mother, Renee, spoke quietly, like she was always afraid of stepping on the wrong word. They were not poor. They were not in danger of losing the house. They had a nice car, takeout on Fridays, vacations once a year. But Derek carried some anger no one else could see. It lived under his skin, waiting for a reason to come out. And when it did, it made the whole house feel smaller. The idea came from a video Jordan saw at school. The teacher played a documentary about a kid who recorded his band practice on an old tape player, then grew up and became famous. The teacher said, "Sometimes you need to hear yourself to know who you are." Jordan thought about something else. He thought, sometimes you need to hear someone else to prove you're not crazy. He wanted proof. Proof that his father's voice was as sharp and loud as it felt. Proof that it wasn't just how men talk, like his uncle said. Proof that if he was scared, there was a good reason. So one afternoon, while his parents were at work, he went through a drawer in the home office and found it. A small digital voice recorder. Black, dusty, with a tiny screen and a red button. Derek had used it years ago to practice presentations. He had forgotten it. Jordan wiped it with his sleeve. He pressed play. Static, an old speech. His father's voice, calm and smooth. What we have to remember is execution. Execution is everything. He pressed stop, then he pressed erase. He watched the screen blink. Old files gone, memory empty. Then he slid the recorder into his hoodie pocket and waited. The first time he used it, he almost dropped it. He had brought home a math test with a big red 63 at the top. He knew what was coming. "What is this?" Derek asked at the table, holding the paper. Jordan stared at his plate. I messed up on the word problems." "I messed up, huh?" Derek's voice sharpened. "You think life is a practice run? You think anybody out there cares if you messed up?" Renee sat between them, hands on her lap. "He can study harder next time," she said softly. "We can get him some help." "He doesn't need help. He needs to focus," Derek snapped. Jordan's heart pounded. His fingers moved under the table, feeling for the recorder in his pocket. He clicked the red button with his thumb. The screen lit up. Recording. "Look at me when I'm talking to you," Derek said. Jordan looked up. His father's eyes were dark, tired, and somehow far away, as if he was yelling at someone else through his son. "You're smart enough," he said. "So when you bring home trash like this, what you're really saying is you don't care. You don't care about your future. You don't care about this family. You don't care about anything but that stupid phone and those games." Renee reached for his arm. "Derek." He shook her off. "I'm not beating him," he said. "I'm talking to him, since nobody else in this house seems to know how." The words landed like slaps, even without hands. Jordan stared at the table. He wished he could disappear into the wood. He wished his ears would stop working. The recorder kept going. Small red light, tiny screen, all of it captured. When his father finished, he went to his office and slammed the door. Renee touched Jordan's shoulder. "Eat," she whispered. "It'll be okay." It didn't feel okay. But later, when he was alone, he had something new. Proof. He lay on his bed that night with the lights off, covers up to his chin. The house was quiet, the kind of quiet that feels fake, like a break between rounds. He took out the recorder. His hands were sweating. He pressed play. His father's voice filled the room through the small speaker. Slightly tinny, slightly distant, but still big, bigger than him. He listened to the whole speech again. It sounded as bad as it had felt, maybe worse. When it ended, he rewound and played it again. He thought he would feel better, hearing it like evidence. He thought it would make him feel sane. Instead, a strange thing happened. On the third playback, his father's voice said something he didn't remember. "You don't care about anything but that stupid phone and those games, and what you do alone in that room after midnight." Jordan froze. He sat up. He replayed that part. "What you do alone in that room after midnight." His chest tightened. His ears burned. His father had not said that at the table. Jordan was sure his mother had been there. She would have reacted. Jordan would have died of shame. But on the recording, the sentence slid in like it had always been there. He replayed the whole thing, start to end. This time, the line was exactly where his brain expected it, like it had never been missing. He felt dizzy. He told himself he had just missed it before, that he had been too stressed, that his memory was bad. But another part of him knew something was wrong. The second recording made it worse. A week later, Derek had another outburst. This time about the trash, about the lights, about the way the shoes were left by the door. Jordan hit record earlier this time. He held the device in his fist, hidden in his pocket, thumb firm on the button. After, in his room, he listened. The first time through, it matched what he remembered. The second time, it shifted. He heard his father say, in that same deep voice, "You think I'm scary now? Wait until you're the one standing where I am. You're going to sound just like this one day. You're going to use the same words. You're going to look at a smaller face and see nothing but failure." Jordan stopped the playback. He sat very still. He rewound. Nothing. The line was gone. He kept searching. He played it again and again until the battery icon started flashing red. No prediction, no threat about the future, just the same ugly lecture he'd heard in real life. He lay back and stared at the ceiling. He told himself he was tired, that his brain was playing tricks, that maybe he had imagined the added words. But it felt more real than imagination. It felt like a memory dropped into place, as solid as the table, the house, the bed. He put the recorder in his nightstand drawer and tried not to think. When you grow up with yelling, you stop trusting your own volume. You start questioning how loud things are. Is this bad, or is this just normal? Are they just talking, or are you in danger? Is your fear real, or are you too sensitive? Jordan lived in that question every day. The recorder should have helped. It did not. It made a new problem. Now he didn't know if he could trust his ears either. His mother found the recorder by accident. He had left it on the kitchen counter one night while he got a glass of water. Renee came in to throw something away and saw it. "What's this?" she asked, picking it up. Jordan's stomach lurched. "Nothing. It's Dad's. Old work thing." She pressed a button. His father's voice erupted into the room, harsh and sudden. "You think anybody is going to care about your excuses when you're a grown man? You think anybody is going to—" Renee's face tightened. She pressed his stop. "Why do you have this?" she asked quietly. Jordan swallowed. "I just wanted to see if I was overreacting." She looked at him for a long time. "Does it help?" she asked. He wanted to say no. He wanted to say it made everything worse. Instead, he shrugged. "Kind of," he lied. She sighed. "Delete them," she said softly. "You don't need to hear him twice." She put the recorder down and left the room. Jordan stared after her. She had only heard the normal part, the part that matched reality, the part the world would call strict parenting, tough love. Just how he talks. She didn't hear the other line, the one about the future, the one that had vanished for him too. Or maybe it hadn't been there at all. Maybe it was never on the recorder. Maybe it was inside his head. The third time, he didn't even press the record on purpose. His thumb slipped on the button as he shoved the device into his pocket. He didn't notice the red light, didn't see the screen. He was too focused on breathing slowly, on keeping his face blank, on not making his father angrier than he already was. It was a Saturday. Derek had been drinking just enough to loosen his tongue, not enough to stumble. The yelling started about the lawn, then moved to the grades, then shifted to Renee's hours at work, then circled back, like it always did, to respect. "You look at me when I talk to you," Derek snapped, voice booming. "You straighten your face. You don't smirk. You don't roll your eyes. You don't act like some little man until life smacks that look off your face." Jordan stared at a spot on the wall. His heart thudded in his throat. He floated through it. Later, in his room, he found the recorder still on. The file was long, over an hour. It had caught not just the blow-up, but the quiet after. The clink of bottles in the trash, the slow steps up the stairs. He played it in the dark, under his blanket, ear pressed close to the small speaker. His father's voice poured out, then faded, then silence. Jordan kept listening. He heard the front door lock, the fridge hum, the radiator click. Then, in the quiet, his father's voice came back. Only this time it sounded wrong. Calmer, lower, almost bored. "Jordan," the voice said. Jordan's blood ran cold. He sat up. The voice continued, steady and slow. "You think that if you record me, you can hold me still? You think if you have proof, someone will finally tell you you're right? That this is too much? That I'm too much?" The room felt airless. He replayed that part. "Jordan, you think that if you record me, you can hold me still?" He turned the recorder off with shaking fingers. He did not remember his father saying his name like that. Not in that tone, not at that time. And yet, on the playback, it sounded perfect. Seamless. Like part of the same audio. He turned it back on. Hit play. "Newsflash, boy," the voice went on. The same voice that had just been yelling an hour earlier, but now somehow cleaner. "Nobody's coming. Nobody saves you from a man like me. Ask your mother. Ask my father if he was still alive. Ask your own son one day." Jordan whispered, "I'm not going to have kids." The recording kept going. "You will," it said. "You will, and you will yell. Not at first. You'll swear you'll never do it. You'll speak soft. You'll walk away. Then one night, when you're tired and broke and mad at something else, you'll open your mouth and I'll come out." He stopped the playback. Quiet filled the room. He held the recorder away from his body like it was hot. Then slowly, he pressed rewind, then play. All he heard was the regular fight. No name, no predictions, no talk of sons. Just his father in the kitchen, complaining about the lawn. He laughed once, a small, broken sound. He wondered if he was losing his mind. Years went by. That is important. Most horror stories stay in the moment. This one does not. This one follows a boy long after the first scare. Jordan moved out at 18. College on a scholarship, shared apartment, cheap food, quiet nights. He told people he just wanted to get out of the suburbs. He did not say, "I wanted to get away from that voice." He didn't talk to Derek much. Some texts, a call on holidays. It was easier to pretend things were normal from far away. The recorder stayed with him. Bottom of a box, back of a drawer. He never threw it away. He told himself he would one day. He never did. At 25, he was living in a small but clean apartment with his girlfriend Kiana and their new baby boy Micah. Jordan was determined to be a different father. He read books about gentle parenting. He watched videos on how to talk through big feelings. He promised himself he would never raise his voice. He did well. For a while. No yelling, no slam doors, no lectures that lasted longer than the problem itself. Sometimes, late at night, he heard his father's old phrases in his head, but he swallowed them. He said other words instead. "It's okay. I know you're upset. Let's take a break." He was proud of that. He thought he had escaped. The night everything cracked was ordinary. He came home late from a double shift. His feet hurt. His head ached. The car had started making a noise he couldn't afford to fix. Rent was due. Groceries were low. Micah was screaming, not soft baby fussing, full body, red-faced, back-arched screaming. Kiana looked exhausted. "He's been like this for an hour," she said. "I tried everything." The sound clawed at Jordan's nerves. "I got him," he said. He picked his son up, walked the room, bounced, shushed, did all the things. The crying kept going, high, shrill, endless. Something in his chest tightened, then snapped. "Enough," he said, louder than he meant to. "Micah, enough. Stop." The baby did not stop. Jordan's vision blurred at the edges. Heat flooded his face. The scream cut into his skull like a drill. Without planning to, without choosing, he heard himself say, in a tone he knew too well, "Do you have any idea how tired I am? I work all day and I come home to this? You can't give me 5 minutes of quiet, not 5 minutes. You think the world is going to stop every time you feel a little uncomfortable? You think anybody cares?" Micah could not understand the words, but he understood the volume. His cries jumped higher. Kiana stepped forward, eyes wide. "Jordan," she said, "breathe. You're scaring him." The words cut through the red. Jordan froze. He looked at his son's face. Wet, terrified. Tiny hands clenched. He saw himself. He handed the baby to Kiana, hands shaking. I need a minute," he whispered. He went into the bedroom, closed the door gently, sat on the edge of the bed. His heart pounded. He had heard that speech before. He had lived under it. He had recorded it. Now it had come out of his own mouth. He put his face in his hands. In the back of his mind, an old small screen lit up. A red button glowed. What you record, you repeat. The next day, while Kiana took Micah to her mother's for a few hours, Jordan went through an old moving box in the closet. He found it under a stack of notebooks and cables. The recorder, battery corroded, but still there. Still the same shape that had once felt heavy in his small hand. He cleaned the contacts, found new batteries in a drawer, slid them in. The screen lit up. There were 3 files, old, untitled. He stared at them. He should have deleted them years ago. Instead, he pressed play. Static, muffled sound. Then his father's voice, from another lifetime, barking about respect, about the lawn, about the trash. Jordan listened. He waited for the parts he remembered. The strange added lines, the personal attacks, the predictions. They never came. It was just a man, a tired, angry man, yelling about normal things in an abnormal way. He played the second file, more of the same. He played the third. Silence for a long time. Then his own small voice at 11, whispering, "I hate you." So quietly it barely registered. Then nothing. No calm voice, no prophecy, no newsflash boy. Just his own hatred, recorded in a machine that could not judge him. He sat on the bed, recorder in his palm, and finally understood. The extra lines, the predictions, the way the voice had said his name, had spoken about the future. Those had never been on the tape. They had always been in his head. He had taken his father's tone, his words, his rhythms. Then his own fear had carried them forward, into years that had not happened yet, playing them on loop until they felt like memories. The recorder had not been haunted. He had. He looked at the device, at the red button, at the small mic holes on the front. Slowly, he pressed record. He held it up in front of his mouth. He spoke in a low, even voice. "Micah," he said, "if you ever find this, I want you to know I tried. I really tried not to sound like him. I failed last night. I might fail again, but I'm trying." He let the silence sit. Then, almost without meaning to, he added, "You're going to sound like me one day. I know that now. I just hope when you do, it's on the days I get it right." He stared at the recorder. Then he stopped the recording, set it on the nightstand. You might think he threw it away. You might think he smashed it. You might think this is the part of the story where the cycle ends. You would be wrong. The man telling you this will not lie to you. People do not change in one apology. Trauma does not vanish in one moment of insight. A childhood of yelling does not dissolve because you read one book on gentle parenting. Sometimes the most honest horror is this: the tape keeps running. The voice keeps playing. The next recording is still blank. Jordan did not become his father overnight. But at some point, on some hard evening, he picked up that recorder again. Maybe to leave another message. Maybe to prove he was better. Maybe to hold himself accountable. He pressed record. He opened his mouth. Micah cried in the other room. And the worst part is not that he might yell again. The worst part is that somewhere in that boy's future, another child may find an old device in a drawer. Press play. Hear a man's voice. And wonder which sentences were really spoken, and which ones were grown in their own mind, like mold in a dark room that nobody ever aired out. That is the horror. The intruder is not in the machine. It lives where the yelling landed.
Thank you for listening to The Storyteller's Moon. If this story touched you, scared you, or kept you on the edge of your seat, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your support keeps the stories alive, and I can't wait to share the next one with you under the moonlight. Until then, may your nights be safe and your dreams unforgettable.